let alone some basic social services. That's why we decided to revolt and take the destiny of our countries into our own hands.
Burkina Faso is no longer just rising. It's building something the world was never supposed to see. And today, we are going to show you 10 projects that Traore has started that have changed Burkina Faso forever. Let's get started. Red gold. It started with a tomato, or rather, a sea of them, rotting in roadside baskets, unsold, unused, and imported back as paste at 3 times the price. For decades, Burkina Faso's farmers watched their harvest devalue when they left the field. That's the trap Traore's government is now dismantling, one factory at a time. Enter the $8 million tomato processing plant, a precision-built facility designed not just to process crops, but to flip the food chain upside down. Located in an agro-rich zone with high tomato yield, the plant is more than an industrial site. It's a food sovereignty weapon. Capable of producing tons of tomato paste daily, it cuts the nation's reliance on imported food products, particularly from Europe and China, which once dominated Burkina Faso's consumer shelves. For every ton processed locally, thousands of francs stay in the economy. For every crate not wasted, a family gains security. The impact ripples far beyond the factory walls. Over 150 direct jobs have already been created, from machine operators to lab technicians. But that's just the beginning. Transporters, crate suppliers, local packaging producers, and small-scale farmers across the supply chain now feed into a structured, formal market, one that pays fair, buys local, and reinvests nationally. But what makes this project revolutionary isn't just the economics. It's the principle behind it. Produce what you eat what you grow. Traore's administration didn't build the plant with foreign aid conditions. It was financed and executed with state-backed investment, backed by BRICS-aligned partners, and modeled on a long-term goal: to make Burkina Faso the agro-industrial heart of the Sahel. Local agricultural training centers are being aligned with the factory's needs, teaching farmers when to plant, how to maximize yield, and what varieties to grow. Youth are being trained not just to farm, but to engineer food systems, ensuring that this isn't a one-off plant, but the first node in a nationwide network of value-added agro-industries. In a world obsessed with importing solutions, Burkina Faso just turned a simple fruit into a national strategy. But if tomatoes can become gold, what happens when the roads that carry them cross borders and drive regional empires? Here comes the $120 million corridor. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. Tomatoes need markets, markets need roads, and Burkina Faso is building them, not just for convenience, but for control. The $120 million Bobo Dioulasso Ivory Coast motorway is more than a highway. It's a high-stakes corridor of sovereignty. Stretching from Burkina Faso's second-largest city to the Ivorian border, this major infrastructure project connects local producers to ports, traders to buyers, and a once landlocked economy to the Atlantic. For farmers delivering processed goods like tomato paste, it means quicker transport, fewer middlemen, and access to international demand. But the road carries more than products. It carries strategy. Designed for regional integration, the highway is a direct challenge to the historical choke points that kept Burkina Faso dependent on others for trade access. It cuts transport costs, trims delivery times, and unlocks the potential of southern trade routes long neglected in favor of northern corridors tied to French influence. Unlike past mega-projects, this one is grounded in domestic priorities, built with local labor, backed by regional partners, and tied directly to Burkina Faso's industrial and agricultural expansion plans. It's not a vanity project. It's a vein in the body of national recovery. Communities along the route are seeing rapid development. Rest stops, markets, housing clusters, and logistics hubs are emerging. Jobs are created. Goods are moving. And for the first time in decades, Burkina Faso is dictating the flow, not following it. A country once described by its isolation is now building its way out of it, mile by mile, village by village. But how do you power all this movement, all these factories, clinics, and homes without relying on foreign oil or failing grids? For that, we have Yelen, The Yelen solar power program is Burkina Faso's boldest energy project to date. Backed by the World Bank and the Green Climate Fund, this initiative is connecting over 150 villages and more than 300,000 people to electricity for the very first time. But this isn't about just turning on lights, it's about turning on opportunities. Yelen is deploying mini-grids and standalone solar systems in schools, clinics, markets, and homes, places the national grid never reached and never cared to. For a rural health center, this means storing vaccines without fear of spoilage. For a classroom, it means lessons don't end when the sun sets. For a local business, it means refrigeration, lighting, and longer hours. More critically, this is clean, decentralized power. No diesel fumes, no imported oil bills, no sudden shutdowns. Solar panels are being installed and maintained by locally trained technicians, creating jobs while securing energy independence. Yelen is not just lighting villages, it's rewiring the economy. The more electricity spreads, the more capacity Burkina Faso has to industrialize, educate, and digitize on its terms. And with plans to expand to hundreds more communities, Yelen isn't just a project, it's a movement powered by light and built for liberation. But even with energy and roads, a nation cannot stand without healing its people. So what happens when a hospital becomes the new temple of sovereignty? It gives birth to Bobos Hospital. Once you power a nation, you must protect the people who keep it running. And in Burkina Faso, healing is no longer a luxury reserved for the capital or the elite. Rising from the ground in the southwest is the Bobo Dioulasso Regional University Hospital, a symbol of not just health but sovereignty. Set to be one of the most advanced medical facilities in the country, this hospital is built with one purpose: to bring modern healthcare to the people who never had it. For decades, the Southwest suffered in silence: understaffed clinics, outdated equipment, and long journeys to reach proper care. That era is ending. This isn't a patch job. It's a system reset. Designed as both a treatment center and a training institute, the hospital will serve patients while also educating the next generation of Burkinabe doctors and nurses, so the country no longer has to rely on foreign professionals or fly its sick abroad. Equipped with surgical units, specialized departments, and digital health systems powered by Yelen's clean energy, the facility will handle everything from maternal care to emergency surgeries. And it's not isolated. New ambulance routes and data links are being built to connect rural clinics directly to the hospital's central system. For the first time, modern medicine won't just visit the region, it will live in it. Traore's health vision is clear. If you want to build a strong country, start by keeping its people alive, educated, and close to home. But to truly live, people need more than care. They need water. Clean, constant, and sovereign. What happens when a nation takes control of its most essential resource? Here comes the Ziga 2. Solution: hospitals can't function without water, nor can homes, schools, or farms. And for a capital city swelling with growth and hope, every drop counts. That's why Burkina Faso is building something monumental: the Ziga 2 Dam, a project designed not just to store water, but to reclaim control over life itself. Located near Ouagadougou, this dam is being constructed to address the capital's chronic water shortages. It's not just a matter of convenience, it's about survival. During dry seasons, taps would run dry, forcing women and children to walk kilometers. Hospitals rationed water, businesses stalled, urban life cracked under pressure. Ziga 2 is designed to change that, permanently. When completed, the dam will provide a stable, clean water supply to hundreds of thousands of city residents, supporting both domestic and industrial use. It's being paired with modern filtration systems, solar-powered pumping stations, and updated distribution pipelines to ensure water not only flows, but flows clean. What sets this project apart is its resilience-first design. Climate-adapted infrastructure, local workforce employment, and governance that prioritizes public access over private profiteering. It's water for people, not for export. And it's not just about the city. Ziga 2 is part of a broader national plan to expand rural water systems, protect aquifers, and introduce rainwater harvesting in agriculture, tying clean water directly into food security and public health. With energy from the sun and water from its land, Burkina Faso is reducing dependence in every essential sector. Once water flows and roads connect, the next question is, Where do people live, and how? In a country where urban sprawl once meant overcrowded slums and fragile infrastructure, Burkina Faso is changing the blueprint, starting with the Faso Mayo Urban Development Project. This isn't just about building houses, it's about designing a future where cities grow with dignity, equity, and strength. At its core, Faso Mayo aims to construct 50,000 new residential units, affordable, sustainable, and tailored to Burkina Faso's climate and culture. But this isn't a real estate scheme for the wealthy. These homes are for teachers, nurses, laborers, and families, people who've long been priced out of livable cities. And it doesn't stop at housing. The project includes wide roads, public transport hubs, green spaces, and modern drainage systems. Schools, clinics, markets, and playgrounds are woven into the urban design. The goal is simple: no more separating basic services from daily life. Even more radical is the method. Faso Mayo is being built using locally sourced materials and local labor, injecting cash directly into the domestic economy. Brickmakers, electricians, carpenters, and young urban planners are being trained and hired en masse, turning construction into a national employment engine. It's not just city planning, it's national planning. And as people move into these new homes, powered by solar grids, watered by new dams, and linked to job markets through fresh roads, they're not just finding shelter. They're finding belonging in a country that finally builds with them in mind. A home means stability. A job brings income. But without a bank that understands the people it serves, wealth never grows. It leaks. That's why Burkina Faso has launched Burkin. It's the first ever state-owned bank, built not to profit from its citizens, but to empower them. For decades, access to financial services was the privilege of the few. International banks dominated the market, focusing on urban elites, foreign trade, and safe bets. Rural communities, small businesses, and the informal economy were left behind, unbanked, unprotected, and invisible. Burkina is rewriting that story. With a mission to serve ordinary Burkinabé, the bank is designed to extend financial access deep into the heart of the country. From urban neighborhoods to remote farming villages, Burkina is offering basic accounts, low-interest loans, microcredit for women, and mobile banking services, in local languages, with local staff. It's not just a bank, it's an instrument of economic inclusion. Young entrepreneurs can now access startup capital. Farmers can secure loans to expand their output or buy machinery. Families can save money without traveling for hours to the city. This isn't charity, it's strategic national empowerment. What's more, Burkina is integrated with other state reforms. Housing projects are supported by tailored mortgage products. Agricultural cooperatives are receiving group financing. And digital platforms backed by the upcoming national data centers allow secure transactions across the country. For the first time, the financial system isn't working against the poor. It's working for them. But empowering citizens with access is just the first step. You can't build a modern country on paperwork. In a world where power flows through fiber optic cables and cloud servers, digital control is national control. That's why Burkina Faso isn't just connecting its people, it's building the infrastructure to own its digital future. At the center of this revolution is PAC Digital, the $150 million digital transformation acceleration project aimed at launching the nation into a new era of governance, service delivery, and economic opportunity. 2 national data centers, now over 70% complete, will soon anchor this transformation. These aren't just storage facilities. They are sovereign information fortresses, designed to house government records, financial data, education systems, medical databases, and civil registries under Burkinabé control. With this digital backbone, public services are moving online. Citizens will be able to apply for IDS, land titles, permits, and even school enrollment from a mobile phone. No more queues, no more bribes, no more red tape. But PAC Digital is doing more than digitizing the government. It's bridging the digital divide. Network coverage is being expanded to at least 500 underserved localities, from isolated Sahelian villages to newly developed urban zones. Digital literacy programs are training youth, women, and small business owners to navigate and thrive in an online economy. And new legal frameworks are being introduced to protect user data, encourage innovation, and guard against foreign surveillance. With Burkin integrated into the system and public services now online, a new digital ecosystem is emerging. One where power lies not in connections to Paris or Washington, but in local servers, local code, and local control. You can digitize the government, launch a national bank, and build smart cities, but if people still wake up without water, the transformation remains incomplete. In Burkina Faso, Traore's administration knows this truth well. That's why one of the most quietly powerful shifts is happening right under our feet: the Urban Water Sector Project. Supported by the World Bank, this initiative has already delivered piped water to over 610,000 people and improved sanitation for 440,000 more. But this isn't just another donor-funded stopgap. It's part of a strategic overhaul to make access to clean water and sanitation a guaranteed public service, not a privilege for the few. Targeting both urban sprawl and dense, informal neighborhoods, the project installs modern water pipelines, filtration stations, and low-cost connections to households and public institutions. In fast-growing cities like Ouagadougou and Bobo Dioulasso, it's transforming daily life. No more carrying jerry cans for miles, no more relying on overpriced water vendors, and no more sickness from dirty sources. Sanitation is also being rebuilt from the ground up, literally. Schools, clinics, and markets are now being equipped with hygienic latrines and waste treatment systems. Urban drainage is being redesigned to reduce flooding and disease outbreaks during the rainy season. What makes this project even more effective is its integration with digital systems. Water usage, service complaints, and payment tracking are now being managed through mobile platforms, linking citizens directly to service providers and cutting out inefficiency. Clean water is no longer a promise, it's a pipeline, flowing directly from national will to household taps. Now let's switch to rural Burkina Faso. In rural Burkina Faso, wealth doesn't sit in bank accounts, it grazes in fields. Livestock is more than tradition, it's currency, inheritance, protein, and power. And for too long, it was neglected, trapped in low yields, disease outbreaks, and unstructured markets. That's why Traore's government, with support from the World Bank, has launched the Livestock Sector Development Support Project, a quiet revolution walking on four legs. This isn't about expanding herds, it's about modernizing an entire economy. From veterinary care to commercial feed production, the project is injecting science, infrastructure, and capital into a sector that supports millions of Burkinabés. Herd health programs are being scaled across provinces, including vaccination drives and the training of mobile veterinary teams. This alone has dramatically reduced livestock mortality, increasing both food supply and income stability. But the ambition goes further. New processing facilities are being established for milk, meat, and hides, transforming raw goods into market-ready products. Cold chain logistics and storage units are being introduced to cut waste and expand trade windows. And targeted credit programs, many offered through Burkin, are giving small herders access to loans to invest in better breeds, feed systems, and business growth. What was once informal and vulnerable is becoming commercial, resilient, and strategic. The Livestock Project also intersects with other national goals. It supports food security, empowers rural women who often manage small ruminants, and strengthens Burkina Faso's regional export capacity. With cross-border trade routes opening and value-added production on the rise, cattle and goats are no longer just survival, they're becoming engines of economic growth. And with all the systems in place, from roads to energy, water to digital banking, the animal that once symbolized subsistence now represents something far more radical, a nation that refuses to be underestimated. So Burkina Faso is no longer waiting for change, it's building it. From solar power to sovereign banking, tomato plants to smart cities, this is a blueprint for true independence. One project at a time, the nation is rising. Not with noise, but with purpose. And the world can no longer look away. Do you think more development is happening in Burkina Faso than in the West? Let us know in the comment section if the West now needs Burkina Faso's help instead. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If so, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, And until the next video, stay tuned.